Hello and welcome back to Man vs Film. We're into November already and it's time for me to lay out 10 pretty good movies for you to check out this month. Still got a little bit of a horror hangover, but that's okay because there's always time for horror in my book, and I hope you enjoy or find something here that you really want to check out. Let's get started. Number 10, Kindred Spirits. Chloe, a single mother in a relationship with Alex, has her life turned upside down when her younger sister, Sadie, comes home after a long, unexplained absence. Though Sadie seems to want to settle in with her sister and 17-year-old niece, she's actually a deeply disturbed young woman who has a sinister agenda regarding anyone who gets between her and her big sister. Kindred Spirits is directed by Lucky McKee and is basically just these three actresses kind of bouncing off each other as there is something underhanded going on. Offers great surprises and shocks, some wonderful performances. It is beautifully directed and it's one of those movies that could easily be missed. I hope you check it out. Number 9, Species. In 1993, a search for extraterrestrial life in a transmissions received detailing an alien DNA structure, along with instructions on how to splice it with human DNA. The result is Syl, a sensual but deadly creature who can change from a beautiful woman to an armour-plated killing machine in the blink of an eye. Government agent Xavier Fitch assembles a team of scientists and mercenaries to locate and destroy Syl before she manages to find a mate and breed. Species is one of those movies that doesn't quite hold up as well as I remember it, but it's a fun movie. It's got some really nice performances, a lot of character actors, people whose faces you know and have seen before. It had some okay special effects, but some really terrific, tense and suspenseful moments. It's a fun throwaway action sci-fi movie if you're into that. Number 8, Overlord. D-Day, 6th of June 1944. A platoon of US paratroopers enters a village to discover that there is a German laboratory nearby. The Germans are developing a serum that turns their troops into indestructible super soldiers. The paratroopers set out to destroy the laboratory and the hotspots hidden inside. Overlord is two movies kind of melded together. It starts off as a really interesting, intense war movie. That flight sequence at the start is super tense and exciting and quite shocking. It becomes a more subdued, tense war movie after they land, and then it turns into a genre-filled special effects bonkers Nazi zombie movie near the end. Kind of get everything with this one, really. Number 7, John Carpenter's Vampires. The church has long known that vampires exist. However, it is discovered that a group of vampires are searching for a powerful doom for mankind. The Vatican then secretly enlists a team of vampire hunters, led by Jack Crow, to hunt down and destroy the vampires before they find this crucifix. James Woods plays Crow, and this is a wonderful western movie that Carpenter deals with here, creating beautiful colours atop of it. It deals with addiction as well. There's violence and blood by the bucketful. It's a kind of weird mid-90s Carpenter movie. A kind of error when he wasn't as prevalent with success as he normally was, but I feel that Vampires is one of his better 90s entries. Number 6, A Knight's Tale. When a knight dies during the recess of a fight, one of his squires, William Thatcher, disguises himself as the master in order to win the prize money of the tournament. He wins the fight and decides to go with his fellow squires Wat and Roland and take on this false identity as a knight and make a living winning tournaments. This is just a fun movie. It's one of those ones that is set in the old time but has all these modern contrivances built into the movie. Heath Ledger stars in this one and it's filled with Queen's music as well. You get Paul Bettany given a rather loquacious role as someone to build up the crowd, and it's just a fun throwaway movie. One of those ones that often gets skipped by, very rarely gets played, but when it does, it really just entertains me. Number 5, Con Air. Cameron Poe is a highly decorated military officer who is sent to prison because of accidentally killing a man. 7 years later, he's granted parole. He's put in a plane with many other convicts, and everything looks smooth until one of the convicts, Cyrus Grissom, breaks out of his restraints and takes control of the plane. The DEA quickly learn of the event and plan on shooting the plane down, but US Marshal Vince Larkin sees Poe as an ally and tries to work with him before the superiors shoot the plane down. Con Air is one of those movies that shouldn't really exist. The plot is bonkers, some of the choices made during the movie are completely ludicrous, but it is incredibly fun, filled with a whole host of familiar faces. It offers a sense of bravado and explosions, and it just is pleasing to watch this one. This is a movie I often throw on when I want to switch off my brain and just watch stuff explode and to see bad guys quote cool lines. This has it. Number 4, Terminator Dark Fate. In Mexico City, a newly modified liquid Terminator arrives from the future to kill a young factory worker named Danny Ramos. Also sent back in time is Grace, a hybrid cyborg human who must protect Ramos from the seemingly indestructible robotic assassin. But the two women soon find some much needed help from a pair of unexpected allies, seasoned warrior Sarah Connor and the T-800 Terminator. I feel that Terminator Dark Fate was unfairly reviewed when it came out. I think it's one of the best Terminator movies. Now, I'm not saying it's even close to the original two, it's not, but it's a really good sequel to those movies. Has a lot of nods to those movies. It's updated to be a more action-centric, friendly adaptation of the Terminator movies, but I feel it delivers on a lot of those fronts. It's well directed, it's got some great CG, and it's entertaining. Number 3, The Exorcist 3. Lieutenant Kinderman and Father Dyer cheer each up on the anniversary of the death of their mutual friend, Father Damien Karras, by going to see It's a Wonderful Life. But there's no cheering Kinderman while a particularly cruel and gruesome serial killer is at large. His murders, which involve torture, decapitation and desecration of religious icons, is bad enough, but they also resemble those of the Gemini killer, who's been dead for 15 years. The Exorcist 3 is a brilliant movie. Now, it's kind of shoehorned into the Exorcist franchise, but you take that away and you have some amazing factors here. George C. Scott is wonderful as Kinderman, and you have Brad Dourif as a wonderful performance as the Gemini killer here, who gives just a really jaw-dropping performance. There is some scares in here that will literally make you jump out of your skin. Some visual elements that are just bonkers to see actually appear on screen, and this is really a movie that you shouldn't just skip by. You don't have to have seen the other Exorcist movies to get anything out of it. It's just a fun horror film. Number 2, Borat's subsequent Moviefilm. Borat humiliated Kazakhstan, causing him to be imprisoned in a gulag for life. 14 years later, the country's premier releases him with a mission to deliver Kazakh Ministry of Culture Johnny the Monkey to President Donald Trump in an attempt to redeem the nation. Borat and movies of this ilk are something that I kind of struggle to watch. That cringy humour where it makes you just curl up and go, oh, please don't do that, please don't say that, you're embarrassing yourself type of humour. But it does have laugh out loud ridiculous moments. I think the standout here is Borat's daughter, who steals the show in many sequences and had me holding my sides as I was killing myself laughing. Particularly the baby sequence, which was hilarious. But yeah, the Borat movie is remarkably good considering the gap between the first to the second one. Number 1, You Were Never Really Here. A traumatised veteran, unafraid of violence, tracks down missing girls for a living. When a job spins out of control, Joe's nightmares overtake him as a conspiracy is uncovered, leading to what may be his death trip or his awakening. Joaquin Phoenix knocks it out the park here. Now he gets a lot of adulation because of Joker. I feel he's far better here as this grizzled war veteran who's struggling to come to terms with the modern world and how he fits into that. Now he uses his ability to release the tension, to take out his vengeance on people who deserve to have that kind of retribution rained upon them. There's a connection with a equally damaged young girl that forms a bond between these two in this unforgettable movie that I think is just wonderful and doesn't get enough praise, which is why it's my number one. Please check it out. I think you'll really like it. So there we had it. 10 movies for you to check out this month. I hope you found something there that you really like, something that inspires you to go and check it out. And if you feel up to, hit this with a like, thumbs up, or maybe even consider supporting me on my Patreon. And the link is in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month.